writing, very fun. This is going to be a B1 roundabout level. We're going later in the unit we're going to be writing a short story. So it's important that we learn how to do some writing, and as a very smart man once said, the first step to writing is writing. Right, so the main thing, the learning goals for today are going to be getting into your flow, starting to write, learning some things that can help you brainstorm or come up with new ideas, some inspiration. We're not going to focus too much on grammar because we've worked on that in the past, we're going to be working on that in the future, but now that's not as important. Now we just want to write as much as possible. So, what are some good things to do at writing? Well, first I'm going to give you a bad example. I'll read a short paragraph for you and then you guys can tell me what was wrong with it. In the garden there is an elephant. The elephant is blue. The blue elephant is looking for his 8 blue siblings. He is eating leaves from a tree. He was too small to reach the leaves. Because he is too small to reach the leaves, he started eating from a bush. He makes a squeaking noise to find his siblings. Because of the squeaking, a thuisbezorgd deliverer comes. The thuisbezorgd deliverer knows where his siblings are. So, yes.
You clearly tell that elephants are not blue.
Right, yes, okay, that is true, but that is not what I'm looking for. What makes this paragraph not as good, not as fun to read as short sentences? Only short sentences is the main thing, so no variation. This board really, Alright, so no variation in sense length. Lina, you had one.
Yeah, I want to only main clauses, so yeah,
We'll just think of that as well.
I don't know, like words to bind the sentence
Yes.
together.
No linking words. That was.
Maybe Dutch. I know the Dutch is French.
Yeah, I think it's takeaway.
No, it's just the English.
Or delivery,
Yes,
Uber
no,
Eats.
No, it tries to be so good. You translate it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Dina, you had
The repetition of the word do.
Alright. Repetition. Anything else? Later.
Is repetition something like that?
It is, yes. You can look it up for me, Leo. If I see you on that phone for too long, though, I will come over to you. So, anything else? Yes, Leo.
It's called
How should I spell it?
REPETI.
Oh. Oh.
Well, still me. Right. You get there eventually. Right. Do we have any last things?
Sorry.
Right. So there's one more thing, two more things that I want to mention. Does it make sense? Oh, yes.
Maybe the flow, but maybe that links back to
Yeah, that's
everything.
mainly due to the no linking words. That really stops the flow. So that's very important. Having some linking words like then, after that, next, those kinds of things keep the story going and then makes it far easier to read. All right, one more thing that I really wanted to mention was, does it make sense? It really, if you get a paragraph that doesn't make much sense, like you start with a blue elephant, then he's squeaking for some reason, then thuisbezorgd delivery comes.
What does squeaking mean?
Squeaking, do you know the sound a mouse makes?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the squeak, yes. So does it make sense? And then lastly, do you have some imagery in your story? So in this case, there is good imagery. You have the blue elephant, you have squeaking, you try to describe all of the senses. That really makes your story come to life. Yes, then you had a
I'm
question.
always going to say what is imagery.
Yeah, you have to it's describing your senses, basically what's going on around you, and the more senses you usually describe, the more vivid the world becomes. You know what vivid means?
Alive.
Yes. So, right. So, first activity. I want from you guys basically a noun, a person, place, or thing. And I want one of each of those things. So we can come up with that together. Leo, name a person. Doesn't have to be a real person.
Jan.
All right, Jan. I'll use red for that. All right, Lina, name a place. Classroom, okay.
This is creative writing, right?
And then Esther, name a thing.
Thing.
Anything.
A permanent marker.
Permanent marker. Very good. All right. Now, I want you guys to take 3 minutes to write just a short paragraph about one or more of these things. And what I really want you to do is think of an adjective that does not fit with these, and then think of a way to work them together. So how does the noun get to the adjective, and how do they
What is an
match?
adjective again?
Adjective. Does anyone know what adjective is? Lina? Exactly, a word that describes a noun. So, for example, this pen. Wait, no, that's not what we got there. You can see my handwriting is not very neat, but so neat describes my handwriting, which is the noun, and well, yeah, neat would be the adjective.
Okay, so we have to come up with an adjective that doesn't match the
Match
things on the board.
either young classroom or permanent marker. So, for example, for permanent marker, you could say hairy. Have you ever seen a permanent marker that's hairy?
Okay.
And then you have to try to combine those two in a short paragraph. You have 3 minutes.
Oh wait, we have to use the same one to describe all three of them?
No. One adjective and one or multiple of those, and then try to make it make sense in the paragraph. All right, you have 3 minutes. If you need help, just come
We
up.
also use adverbs.
Yes. That's good question. If you know adverb, but not
Uh-huh. What is it again?
adjective. All right. You can try to finish like the last sentence of your paragraph. Just finish wherever you let it go. All right, everyone done?
I know.
doesn't matter how far you got really, this is just to get your juices flowing. This is just to get your juices flowing, just to get you to start writing. Does anyone want to read their paragraph out loud later?
The scrumptious teacher Jan gripped the long and sweaty marker with great strength. The marker oozed its juices all over the flat and tiny and defenseless whiteboard.
Very good, Leo. That was very descriptive.
I want to be a rock.
Good
idea.
Well, you might well. Right, so, the success criteria. First of all, good imagery. I didn't write that one down, but good imagery. Was there variation in sentence length?
Oh, I don't remember.
Do you want to read it out loud again for us? Then?
The scrumptious teacher Jan gripped the long and sweaty marker with great strength. The marker oozed its juices all over the tiny and flat and defenseless whiteboard.
There was an end. But there was a linking word there.
Yeah, so you did linking words very well. You had many long sentences. They worked very well because of the linking words though. And I think maybe with some more time you could have created some more different kind of sense. But very well done. I didn't see any repetition in there. So, right. Now we're going to switch it up a little bit. You guys can switch your sheets. Just, and I want you guys to take another 2 minutes to continue the story, but you can't use any of these words anymore. Yeah, you can't use any of these words anymore, but you have to continue the story.
The same one we were
The
writing?
same story that's written in front of you, so someone else wrote.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
So, you have a paragraph in front of you now that someone else wrote. You have to continue the story, but you cannot use any of these three words that we're basing the story on before. Get it? Alright, so you have 2 minutes to start writing again.
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah, with the D.
What is Sandy? Is it Sandy? Is it
No, the roomie is work on that.
It's generally done.
Just whatever comes into your mind first.
What comes into my mind?
Yeah, it does have to make sense. That was one of the criteria.
Do we still have to do that whole adjective thingy?
You don't have to use the adjective, but it does help with imagery. The more adjectives you use, generally, the more vivid your work becomes. But you don't have to use an adjective that doesn't fit in.
Okay.
Will this story continue, or is this the final? Because otherwise I think this.
Let's look at the time. This will probably be the final bit of writing we do. Alright, you can finish whatever sentence you're on and then we're done with the writing.
Can you use synonym?
Yes. As long as you don't use these words.
know.
2 seconds. That's really good. Oh, no.
Go for it. All right. So, does anyone other than Leo want to read out their second paragraph?
Oh, yeah, this is
Read out the first and second paragraph on your page.
the scrumptious teacher yawned.
Oh, okay, yeah. You just have to read the second one.
Oh no, but it makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, what is that actually? Rick?
Rick.
Yeah. Rick belongs a sweaty marker with a great strength. The marker oozed its juices all over the flat and tiny and defensive whiteboard. The whiteboard filled with the most complex grammar structures because I've never seen before. Slowly the writing utensil ran out of ink and not only did less ink but also the story.
Well done. That was pretty good.
Can I read my paper?
How much time do we have left?
Oh, we have time for 2 stories.
All right. Read out your story for us, Emma.
When Jan opened the door to the classroom, he was shocked. It was sandy and smelled like seaweed. He looked around and saw that the students were all replaced with stinky fish. The teacher was livid, couldn't believe his pupils had been turned to fish. Something was fishy. But he was a teacher after all, so he decided to give the lesson to that school of fish. So I did that.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right, Lina, do you want to read out your story?
Not really.
Well, do you think it's not good or?
No, I can't. It's just not funny. The windy classroom was empty when Jan walked in. He started out his lesson and found his permanent marker was greasy and did not work. So that was it. Standing alone in a room with nothing but greasy hands. What a day. The wind only added to the feeling of loneliness and utter sadness in his mind.
Well, that's quite vivid as well. Does anyone think that that story is worse than the other two? Do you, Leo? Maybe. All right. And why do you think it's worse? Does it do one of these? Does it not do one of these things?
Oh no, I think in terms of grammar structure, it's perfect, but it's not just I don't enjoy that type of literature.
All right. But the story itself is good. Yeah. Right. So, what do you guys think of writing like this? Did it help you? Did the words help you start the story, think of the story, or were they more distracting?
They kind of limited like the creativity, but on the other hand it was interesting to see how everyone managed to develop the story.
Do you think if I'd given you no words to base your story on, that it would be harder or easier?
I think it would be harder because you're starting from 0 and there's a million that you could take it.
Right. So if I told you to write a story tomorrow, what would you do first? Would you think of some background stuff, some nouns or something to write about, or would you just start writing?
I think I would just like make a brief structure for, I don't know, key points.
Yes? Do you have any question?
I would just maybe start with one character. I would put something in there.
Yeah. That would make a good yes. Right. Well, I hope this, I don't know how much time I've left, but I think this.
Round it off, yeah.
So I hope this has helped you realize that starting writing is not as hard as it often seems, and it's relatively simple to write a good story. You just have to look at these 5 things and keep those in mind. Right, thank you. That's all.